All right, guys, so I want to talk about a little bit of, for those of you who are getting ready to take your level 4, how do I start to rack and stack my priorities and really start to get this thing polished so I can execute whatever workout I have as well as humanly possible. So I just made this workout up. I have no idea if this is one of the workouts for level 4. It was not my workouts, but I put a couple of different things in here because I wanted to have some complexity inside of the workout. So as many reps and rounds as possible in 15 minutes, 15 front squats, 135, 95, 10 chest to bar pull-ups, and then 5 push jerks, same load as the front squat. So we have to make some assumptions about this, meaning that we're not, like everything else is on par, meaning like, okay, my teaching is good, my group management is good, I understand my demo, presence, and attitude. So we've checked a lot of boxes, and really, at least from the feedback that I've seen, most people are falling short here, and let's assume that if you can't see, you can't correct, so that's on par too. So how do we start to manage particularly this aspect of the 6 criteria for evaluating a coach? And even more specifically than that, let's say that like what we're really talking about is the dynamic portion. Now, first and foremost, when we're talking about correcting, what you must get correct is there's tons of places we're going to see correcting. What I would say where most people are probably getting an okay check is in the specific warm-up. All right, so people are getting that. The general is where people are not getting it, and then the workout is where people are not getting it. So I need to make sure that those 3, I'm hammering the dynamic cues, whatever they might be. Now, how do I go about doing that is really the question. So the easiest way to think about this is I know that there are a couple, let's call it 2, maybe 3 on the high end, of dynamic faults that are going to happen in any given movement. And I want to take those 2 to 3, I want to identify them prior to the workout, and I want to basically move them to the forefront of my mind for the workout specifically. So for the front squats, let's just say that right off the bat, I've got the elbows are going to drop, and then the other one is just like heels up, right? So those are going to be my 2 dynamic cues, my dynamic faults that are going to happen in the front squat. In the pull-up, let's just say that the kip, either timing is off or they're not utilizing the hip the way that they should. The other thing that might happen is, depending on what their pull-up looks like, the kind of push away or the reset. Maybe it's their feet. Maybe you're looking at their feet. But again, you are going to identify this. And then the push jerk, a couple things I'll be looking at here is early pressing and then not locking out. And the whole purpose is, let's just say that this is my workout. Well, I've identified right out of the gate 6 different dynamic faults that would happen here inside of the workout. And those are going to be the things that I'm going to allocate the vast majority of my attention to inside of the workout specifically. So I really want to hammer these things. We have to make some assumptions that all this stuff is good, and the vast majority of my effort goes here because these things are on autopilot and they're good to go. Okay, so when I look at that, then I really start to hammer elbows dropping, people's heels coming up off the floor, making sure that the kip timing is correct. If they're doing regular kipping pull-ups, then I'm going to make sure they push away. If they're doing butterfly kipping pull-ups, then that's a whole nother criteria that I would need to look at. For the push jerks, making sure that the timing, right, like early press, meaning like hip extension is happening the way that I want it to, right? So maybe they're not extending all the way, and then not locking out. But that's 6 things that I am just going to bludgeon people with inside of that hour in all different aspects of the class setting. So when you're going through your specific warm-up, I'm going to hammer these things. When I get into the workout, I'm going to hammer them again. And I'm just never going to turn off the seeing and correcting button inside of this specific context, meaning like, remember the level 4, it's a bit of a contrived environment, right? Because the assessors are not there every day. They cannot make assumptions about your skill set or what your athletes do or they don't know. They can only go off of what they see in the context of those 2 classes. So this is the Super Bowl. You have to put on essentially a show to demonstrate that you can. I think it's very reasonable to think that you would not coach classes at that level every single day because it's just not sustainable, nor do I think you might really need to if you're doing the majority of this every single day. Your athletes, you know, get exposed to these things from a coaching standpoint on a, 3 to 5 times a week. But again, it's an assessment. Understand what the assessment is for. Don't pretend that you don't understand the assessment, but this is how you would set yourself up for success. Is like, how do I really hammer the correcting? Well, you would pre-identify the things that you're going to spend the vast majority of your time and attention on, and then I would just hammer them over and over and over. Go through all the different ways of doing visual, verbal, tactile feedback for all 6 of those, right? So if I've got 6 options that I identified for these 3 movements, and then I've got 3 of those for each, I'm going to walk into the class with 18 different variations of fixing those movements, at which point, if you have 12 different athletes, I don't know what the math on that is, but you're looking at 150 plus different types of potential interactions that I can have that are unique to each athlete. Meaning if I had 18 different options to fix these 6 movements, and then I had that across 12 athletes, again, there is no chance that inside of a 15-minute workout that you would run out of opportunities to see and correct. And this is the goal. So the goal in the specific warm-up, 0 empty reps. Same thing in the general. If you see something, you must correct it. Inside of the general workout, you are just going to be relentless. Any deviation, you're going to address it. And that's really the thing. The level 4 is not about, at least to my knowledge, is not about running a perfect class. It is about demonstrating that you can accurately identify and address everything that is presented to you. Meaning, like, I might have to address the same thing a ton of times, and that's okay. That's called coaching. So hopefully for those of you guys that are getting ready for level 4 and it's coming up, this will help you kind of dial in your attention, because that really becomes the stressor. As I get ready to do this, like, where does the vast majority of my focus need to go? And if for some of you it's not correcting, for some of you you're probably not ready, and we need to really shore up the teaching, the group management, presence, set, attitude, or demo. But if you are ready and you're there, because I know many red shirts that have failed level 4, and the feedback is always the same. It's like, we really have to hammer the correcting. And when we went 3 for 4 here at CrossFit Rifle, when we had 4 coaches take it, 3 of them passed. This is what we all focused on, and we really focused on, like, we must correct, and you must correct from the second you break the whiteboard all the way through until you finish that class. But you need to bring all these things to the forefront of your mind. So if that's you, I hope this helps. If you guys have questions, obviously drop those in there. But this gives you guys a pretty clear roadmap for how I should direct my attention and where I should put the vast majority of my focus if you're taking level 4. So if that's coming up for you, good luck. Can't wait to see how it goes. If you're a coach looking to get bite-sized daily tips on how to run better classes inside the affiliate, facilitated by some of the best coaches in the world inside of the CrossFit space, check out the knowledge. Everything that you're looking for is in there. How to run classes, how to correct athletes, how to know some of the conceptual things within inside of this whole CrossFit space. Check it out. Run better classes. Check out the knowledge.